Amazing football and welcome into Morning Footy. 48 nations, everybody. Yesterday, we had 2 penalty shootouts and a dramatic 90th minute winner. Now the round of 32 continues with 3 more knockout matches today. So there's so much to get into. I'm your host, Hannah Cash, alongside Jimmy Conrad, Charlie Davies and Tony Miola. Boys, what a day of football we saw yesterday. It was amazing, wasn't it, Charlie?
I think this whole month has been amazing. But yes, I was pleasantly surprised with the quality that we saw from yesterday's matches. But at the same time, Germany were so underwhelming. I can't tell you. But Paraguay, it felt like the whole world knew how Paraguay was going to set up, how they were going to play. It's no secret how they got through Common Bowl qualifying. And yes, you know, the U.S., we got the better of them, and that was a game that the Paraguayans want to forget as quickly as possible, and now they can after this result.
Yeah, I mean, what a day, just in general, in terms of the goals are scored, just different types of games. You had Brazil coming back to beat Japan. How they solved those problems. Then you had Germany can't unlock a Paraguay team, and then the nightcap of Netherlands, Morocco was absolutely insane. And I thought Morocco was the better team and deserved to go through, but wow, what a penalty. So yeah, there's a lot of different kind of narratives around each game, and I'm excited about the games today too.
Football's not easy around the world anymore, right? It used to be like the yellow jersey. You knew exactly what the score was going to be against a team that's supposed to be inferior, right, at the end of the day. But we had mentioned yesterday that none of this is going to come easy to them. That was the game we broke down. It was the game right after our show. But we also talked about the other matches that would be difficult, right? Charlie mentions Paraguay. It's not a surprise, right? It might be a surprise to German fans that this is how it turned out. Maybe it's not, because I don't know that German fans had a huge expectation for this side. But I think what we see every year in Champions League, we see it here on CBS every year, every 4 years in World Cup. The gap between the top and the bottom teams is like it has shrunk to almost nothing.
I don't want to hear anything about CONCACAF not pulling their own weight. I don't want to hear anything about the CAF nations not pulling their own weight. 9 out of 10 get through the knockout round, and Morocco showing the world what's up.
After Paraguay's win against Germany, they got the day off work today. So I'm sure they're all very happy people this Tuesday morning. But let's look back at yesterday's World Cup action, everyone. And it was the least hyped match of the day, wound up producing the biggest result, with Paraguay eliminating Germany. Julian Nagelsmann opened the scoring for Paraguay before Kai Havertz's equaliser gave Germany a lifeline. So normally Germany dominates penalty shootouts, but not this time, with Paraguay winning the shootout after 3 Germany misses. So it was the 4th biggest knockout shock by rankings since they began in 1994. Paraguay are ranked 41st currently in FIFA rankings, Germany ranked 10th. So a huge, huge upset. The 4-time champions, Germany, are out, but we have to talk about Paraguay. First time reaching the round of 16 since 2010, Jimmy. What a moment for that country yesterday.
Yeah, incredible. I have a lot of Waios that are friends that were crying afterwards and so excited and so proud of what they accomplished. Beating Germany in a World Cup. I mean, beat them in a friendly or whatever, that's something, but beating them in a World Cup in a knockout round game is absolutely next level. And it's been cool to see them grow into the tournament, because after they lost to us in the first game, you're thinking, man, thanks for coming, Paraguay. But fair play to their team, especially because Enciso wasn't 100%, one of their best players who ended up scoring. Miguel Miron gets a red card, so that puts everything in pair. Those are their 2 best players. They ended up setting up the goal that they scored against Germany, so obviously very vital to their team. But
they finished 3rd place in our group.
Yeah, yeah.
Think about that. It's astronomical.
Yeah, Gustavo Alfaro has done an incredible job of getting them organized and the spirit that they play with. I mean, if Germany just had maybe an ounce of that, maybe we're talking about a different result. And of course, there's the big foul that, like the goal that got called back on Jonathan Tah.
Yeah, a foul for me.
Yeah, for sure. As a goalkeeper.
Yeah, sure.
They're unapologetic about the way that they want to play. They make no bones about who they are, how they want to play. We saw it against the U.S. We have spoken about Paraguay more than anybody, because for a lead up of a few months, that was the U.S.'s first opponent, right? So that's where we focused all of our energy. We saw them in a friendly against the U.S. They set up in this 4-4-2 that looks like a 4-5-1 or 5-4-1 when they're defending, and they're a counterattacking side. Jimmy touched on it. And Enciso against the U.S., if you remember, was just coming back from an injury. He didn't look himself, and the U.S. took advantage of it. Match they won, but they grew into, remember, Turkey, Miguel Miron gets thrown out of that one. They have to battle Turkey 1-0. So They are a team that fights like hell. They never give up. They don't stop. They're a really proud nation, and now are in the final 16.
I'd love to hear your take on Orlando Gil. You can see what it means to the fans here for Paraguay, but Tones, how impressive was Orlando Gil in goal for Paraguay?
Yeah, he was sharp yesterday. How many of balls that got swung in the box, how many headers from like close that got hit at him that he didn't even give a rebound in? And that's, I'm looking at these scenes, and I wish I was standing there with him, right? He didn't drop a ball. There were so many moments. You got a feeling in the second half that Germany was going to pull one back with all the pressure that they were putting on, but it's a resilient side. We saw this through qualifying. They came out of CONMEBOL, the last team to qualify out of CONMEBOL, and in the regular table. And I mean, they deserve to move on. I mean, for me, they executed their game plan
perfectly,
better than Germany executed what they wanted to do. You might not like the way Paraguay plays. It might not be attractive to you. But there's, again, I go back. They are unapologetic about the way that they want to play, and yesterday it worked.
Yeah. Looking at their performance yesterday, it does kind of prove, Charlie, how good the win for the US was against them in the group stage, doesn't it?
It does. For me, of course, it's one match. It's the first match of the World Cup for the US and for Paraguay, and I think the pressure on both sides was there. I mean, the U.S. players talked about it. Tim Ream spoke about just that match, feeling the pressure, not so much for this one coming up against Bosnia. But we absolutely threw their plans into thin air, into a fire. We actually just punched them in the face and scored early. And next thing you know, what their game plan was, they had to fold. And plan B, plan C, they were in panic mode. We just kept putting on the pressure, and by halftime, it's like they had seen White Walkers. You know, they didn't know how to react, what to do. We were so much more energetic on the ball. We caused so many problems. We won the ball back, and they didn't know how to react. So I think from that standpoint, they went back to the drawing board. They said, hey, we got to get back to our identity. Let's not concede early. Let's be very tough to break down. And to their credit, they've responded in a big way.
Yeah, Paraguay will be facing either France or Sweden. We'll be seeing the winner of that game later today. But a lot of these German fans are placing the blame on Julian Nagelsmann, their head coach. And here's what he had to say after the game. Reading this quote from him. There are some things that need to be changed, but I'm not going to step back just because we are eliminated. If the DFB, which is the German FA, want me to continue, I'm going to continue. I also know that a lot of people now may want me to leave, but I would still love to continue if the German FA wants me to.
Can we decode that for you?
Yes.
Because if he resigns, he probably doesn't get paid out.
I see.
They have to fire him for him to get his money. So there might be a little bit of that in there.
Do you think it's time for Nagelsmann to leave?
Yeah, I'm a one World Cup cycle guy.
Okay.
So you're in charge of one World Cup cycle. The players need to hear a new voice. I think now, too, when I think about this German team, they probably need to evolve and start to trust some younger players to kind of move them into the next generation. I think what's interesting about this, let's say the last 24 years, Germany got second in 2002. They got third in 2006. They got third in 2010. They won it in 2014. I mean, that is a hell of a run over 4 World Cups. Since then, having got out of the group stages in the previous 2, and in this one, they get knocked out in the round of 32 to Paraguay. Something's going on there. It's not necessarily Nagelsmann's fault, but he's not necessarily helping the situation, and they just got bigger
Would you say
issues.
it was Hansi Flick's fault in the previous World Cup?
I mean, they have to take some responsibility, of course, as coaches, who they make player selections. We haven't really talked about it, but him adding Manuel Neuer in the last minute to then be the number 1, that could throw a ripple effect within the team. Like, are we trusting, or we don't trust Oliver Baumann to be our number 1 guy? And it's just little things, right? If you were a part of a national team, or you've been a part of it, if they bring somebody in late, that of course he's got an incredible track record, but hasn't played as well as maybe some of the other players, and so it's just an interesting situation. That's just one example of where I think the Germans just look lost, and they don't feel like they have any edge. When I watch them play, they don't really have any edge to their game. Nobody fears them anymore.
Would you have said that in the friendly and on the build-up to the friendly, when to the World Cup as we played them, and it felt like
we felt more toe-to-toe.
Yeah, they scored early with obviously the Kai Havertz header he was unmarked, but our response was very solid. And I thought this German side, if they're rated that high, we did go toe-to-toe with them.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to be chatting now with our German football correspondent, Rafa Honigstein, to hear more about this German team. Rafa, lovely to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. This German side, the last 2 World Cups, that they didn't even make it out of the group stages, did they? And now they failed to win their knockout round game. What's the reaction in Germany on this side at the moment?
The reaction is one of shock and embarrassment, because you can get knocked out in a World Cup, but you can't get knocked out the way that Germany did. With a meek performance, with hardly creating any chances against Paraguay, with then messing up the penalty shootout, which was supposed to be our speciality. With the record we had so far in tournaments, we haven't lost one since 1976 in the Euro finals. So if you then look at the 3 other games preceding this game, you could see that Germany's problems were far more deep-rooted than one specific game with an unlucky refereeing decision. And that's why there's a sense of shock, disbelief, but also in the same way, shock and disbelief that some of the problems weren't a surprise. Some of the issues that we saw throughout this World Cup were predicted. So it was a bit of a slow motion car crash. And Germans feel, I think, by a large majority that something has to change. And that something usually is the manager to begin with.
Rafa, good morning. Great to see you. I'm curious. How much would you put into the players not doing what they need to do on the pitch in terms of the performance versus the tactics? Because we're all sitting here saying, hey, we know how Paraguay is going to play. They're going to sit back, low block, defend, grind it out. For him to not start Musiala, it felt like as one of the players who's probably better known for playing in tight spaces and generating opportunities, even though he hasn't really performed this World Cup. How much stock would you put into poor tactics versus poor performance?
Well, I think for everything Nagelsmann did at this World Cup, there was a good explanation. There's a good explanation to bring back Manuel Neuer. There was a good explanation to put Kimmich in the right back position, because we don't really have anyone of his quality. There's a good explanation why Undav came in. Nagelsmann explained it in detail before the game. He said, look, we feel that we don't have enough people in the box. We feel that our pressing and counter-pressing isn't really on point. We want somebody to be closer to Havertz. And Undav had been performing well, and the whole of Germany had been calling his name, had been screaming out for him to start the game. So I wouldn't put that blame on him. But overall, I think if you look at the whole 4 years of him being there, I think there are a lot of things, a lot of big calls that haven't worked out. And some of the smaller stuff hasn't worked out either. The way he communicated to his players, the way he constantly flip-flopped with Kimmich, for example, who only a couple of years ago he said, he's definitely my starter in midfield. And then he wrote back, and then he put him back in midfield, and then he wrote back again. These things, a lack of clarity of vision, lack of clarity of communication, also I think a slight sort of sense of immaturity. National team managers tend to be quite senior people, with a lot of experience, who can handle people, who can handle the pressure. At times, Nagelsmann, for me, looked his age. Now, all these reasons might not be enough for a fully functioning, deep, very well drilled Germany team to perform so badly. But I think, as you said earlier in your discussion, he didn't help with some of the problems. He exacerbated them. And a team coach's first mission, if you will, is to strengthen the strengths and deal with the negativity and the problems and the weaknesses that every team has at this level. Every national team, maybe bar the French, has problems. And you need to hide those problems and make sure that your strengths are being amplified. And I don't think Nagelsmann ever managed to do that.
Rafa, guten Morgen. It's Jimmy here. Is this the lowest point for German football in the last, definitely in the last decade? Like, where do they go from here, I guess? Is it player development? Because when I look at the center backs in particular, you used to have Hummels and Boateng, and now you have Schlotterbeck and Tah. And for me, Hummels and Boateng were really prime defenders. And you've had a rich history in pretty much every position. Is it player development? Is it coaching development? Like, where does the DFB go from here, and how do you start to get Germany back to the top?
Look, I think you can always optimize these issues. You can always look at what are the key problems that we have in terms of youth development. Why are we not producing at the moment the kind of wingers that other teams have? I think it's probably the most important position now on the pitch. If you want to wing things, we have lots of number 10s. You can play them in positions like that. You can play Musiala wide, you can play Wirtz wide, you can play Lennart Karl wide. I think he would have made a big difference if he was fit. But of course, these are such makeshift solutions. The centre-backs, as you said, are not quite at the same level anymore. We have this ongoing problem with centre-forwards now for 30 years. But having said all that, in the past, we had similar issues and we found solutions. We won the World Cup starting with 4 centre-backs and played really defensively. We won the World Cup with Miroslav Klose, who, yes, got a lot of goals, but was never a striker in the mold of Gerd Müller, Rudi Völler, or Jürgen Klinsmann, who would lead the line. He would often drop into midfield and be more of a playing striker. We didn't really have wingers at the time either. We had Mesut Özil, we had Mario Götze, we had Andre Schürrle, but we found solutions. And we conceded 4 goals in the entire tournament. Now, you are getting paid to find these solutions, and Germany, for all these issues we just mentioned, still should have had enough to at least get into a last 16 game against France. So, yes, there are issues, structural issues, and Nagelsmann is not at fault for everything. But the things he did control, he didn't control well enough. And that's why I'm not sure this is the lowest point. We've had quite a few. But this is certainly a point where I think the German FA will learn from their previous mistakes. When Löw messed up the 2018 World Cup, they let him continue for a couple of years. And that was a big mistake. When Hansi Flick made the same mistake, if you will, had the same problems that in Qatar 2022, they let him carry on for another 2 years or a year and a half before they got rid of him. I don't think they're going to do that again and say, you know what, yeah, it's a sort of thing can happen. Nagelsmann will figure it out. No, I think now Jurgen Klopp will come in, and I think you'll see, at least in terms of the mood and optimism, an uplift immediately.
Yeah, Rafa, it sounds almost like a Das Reboot. How do you say 2 in German? Right? Das Reboot 2. So Jurgen Klopp is obviously the first name that's going to pop up on everybody's screen, right, when you start reading about this. So where does that stand? And would Jurgen Klopp actually be the guy for this group in your estimation?
The last bit is really interesting. Is this a Jurgen Klopp team? Not really. It doesn't have any of the characteristics, I think, that Jurgen Klopp wants. But I think he would find players that would fit it. Does he want to do it? My indications are from people close to him that he would at least listen. And already you can see there's a big clamor. Bild, the biggest tabloid, said Jurgen Klopp now has to come. And he's the obvious names on everyone's list. So the discussion is going to start in the next couple of days. First, the German FA need to tell Nagelsmann it's over. I think they have no other choice, but they haven't done it yet. And then Klopp will have to make a decision. But I think there's a big chance he'll say yes.
Rafa, just curious, do you think Nagelsmann did not do it because obviously he'll get paid if he doesn't resign and he gets fired, versus saying, hey, I'm done, I haven't fulfilled my job?
I think there was an element of that, but also he didn't seem to understand quite the magnitude of the defeat and how low German football was with that. He was talking about it as if Germany had just lost another game. He talked about the specifics, and that was another thing that really shocked a lot of people, how there wasn't that emotional response, but a sense of, well, you know, it can happen. We didn't play well. We need to change. We need to improve. But I think a big part of that was the contractual situation. He cannot resign. To give up 2 years, he has to wait for the German FA to fire him.
Rafa, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your time. I hope to see you soon.
Pleasure.
OK, everybody, that's 4-time World Cup champions. Germany are out of the tournament with Paraguay advancing. We are continuing our conversations on the World Cup after this.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. With the entire nation hunting you down. the grand prize, $1 billion. Win this game. Change your family's life forever. Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad in my camp.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back, everyone. So yesterday we saw another game go to penalties, and it was Morocco who came out on top, beating the Netherlands 3-2 in those penalties. And our friends at SofaScore have given us the stats from this game. So Morocco dominated much of that game, probably showing boys that they deserved to win that game. Would you agree, so?
Yeah, I think so. I think the momentum chart at the bottom there kind of proves it, but the eye test also proved it, right? Watching this, Morocco, I thought of the two teams was the fearless team, right? It didn't matter to them that the occasion was a knockout round. They just did what Morocco does, and they go and attack, and they keep coming at you. I was really surprised, Chuck, about the Netherlands and maybe the lack of willingness, if you will, to get forward and really get in the attack.
Yeah, I thought it was an entertaining matchup with Mickey Van de Ven and Hakimi, just in terms of pace. So putting Mickey Van de Ven as that left wing back was smart in a way, because he's the only player on that Dutch side that could really keep up with Hakimi in terms of pace and neutralize him a little bit, which for me was quite smart. But ultimately, Morocco showed their quality. I mean, how many times did we see Bouhaddi get on the ball and Morocco play through a half-hearted Dutch press in a lot of cases? I was surprised at the intensity from the Netherlands in this game to allow Morocco to just dictate the tempo and keep possession.
Yeah, this is what Moroccan head coach had to say after the game. Yes, Morocco has gained everybody's respect now. It's not because of what we've said, we've now shown it. There are many positive aspects. We see the young players, the more experienced ones. We have teams across all age groups that are of high standards. So, Jimmy, this was Morocco's third knockout stage win since that 2022 World Cup. Before that World Cup, they'd had no wins in the knockout stages. Do you think Morocco have now solidified themselves as one of the world's best?
Yeah, no question. I think what's interesting is that it feels like we're still talking about how the Netherlands failed as opposed to Morocco succeeding, right? They deserve a ton of credit. The Brazil game, they should have beaten Brazil. They actually outplayed Brazil. They were more Brazilian than the Brazilians when we look at like traditional identity. Then they eke past Scotland 1-0. They get a lot of criticism for not scoring more goals because they have so much talent, and I agree with that. They should have scored more. The Haiti game, they go down, and they find their way back into it and score 4-2, and then they have like a different style. What I really appreciate is that each game was a little bit different, had a different personality, and they still found a way to have success. So this is a Morocco team that is very difficult to beat, that trusts their identity, and as our coach mentioned, they have a lot of depth and a lot of young talent because of all the success they've had at all these other levels, winning the Olympics, winning the U20 World Cup. This is just, it's a good time for Moroccan football, and it's really exciting to see, and this is just evidence that they are a force to be reckoned with moving forward.
I think one of the reasons we may talk about the Netherlands first instead of Morocco is because what we saw from Morocco we expected, right? We all came into this expecting Morocco to be a good side. We didn't know that this would be the matchup in the round of 32. That's just how it played out. I don't think we expected what we saw from the Netherlands, and because as much as we think of now Morocco being an attacking side, a team that goes forward, the history of the Netherlands says this is a team, this is total football. Like, that's the history that we all have of the game. This is not that team, but that's what we think about. So when we don't see the Spains or the Brazils or the Netherlands teams, the Dutch teams look the same, that's why it becomes such a conversation. I was shocked yesterday on how this team looked scared to play and get forward. The substitutions that Koeman made looked at, just yelled to me that I'm afraid to attack. I don't want to put any of these attacking players on. And I think that's why maybe we started the discussion there. But Morocco, I mean, some people have had Morocco to go to a semifinal before the tournament even started, right? I actually picked the Netherlands in this one. It was one of the toughest ones I thought to pick in the bracket.
I think just perception, to your point, Tony, when you think about the Netherlands and this Dutch side, you talk about the names. Look at the spine. Van Dijk, Virgil van Dijk, I mean, is maybe as prominent as he once was, he's still a top defender in world football. Then you have Frankie de Jong and Gravenberch in the midfield. You're saying, okay, this Dutch team is going to keep possession. Frankie de Jong at Barcelona, he's that guy who can float between the lines and keep the ball moving. So when you're thinking about, okay, they're always going to find an outlet. They're going to win the ball back and keep possession. And then I look at Hakpo and Somerville. They're great in transition, but this Moroccan side neutralized, and so much so that the Netherlands said, let's just be more defensive minded and protect the back four, which was the back three, which was shocking to me because this Dutch side was completely outplayed. And to your point, Morocco, maybe on paper, they don't have the big names yet. But the players on this team will be big names. There's no doubt about it.
I think what's interesting to talk about the Dutch a little bit, I know we're looking at some scenes from Morocco, and rightly deserved here. The Dutch started with 4 center backs and then Dumfries. So they basically went with a back 5, which is so un-Dutch-like, right? For them to be that defensive. They should be on the front foot, dictating the tempo. When they took off Nathan Ake and put on Wout Weghorst, they just bypassed the midfield. Then they started playing direct. That's how they scored their goal. So it did work in some ways, but it just doesn't feel, this is not the Dutch team. There's no romanticism around this team. They're just very workmanlike and maybe lacks some of that luster that we had seen in the past. And that's just what we identify with because they've been so good in previous iterations.
Yeah, well, it was Netherlands' earliest exit in World Cup history, so I think that kind of speaks for itself. The winner of this game now, Morocco, are going to be facing potentially France if they were to win their game against Sweden today. And they came up against France in the 2022 World Cup, lost against them in the semi-finals 2-0. But do you think now Morocco has kind of closed the gap between themselves and France?
100%.
Yeah.
Now, this is a Moroccan side that is so young that really is similar to us in the 2022 World Cup, the US men's national team, gain experience. Now, this is a team that got to the semifinals in 2022, but it's a young team. They want their best Moroccan side for the next World Cup, which would be on home soil, right? They're co-hosting that World Cup. But I might argue that this team's going to push France to the brink. Now, they were completely outplayed in the 2022 World Cup. They lost 2-0 in that semifinal, but it was almost like you went through a gauntlet. You got through Portugal, you got through Spain, you got to a semifinal versus France. You've won as an African side. But now they are pushing, I think, the limit on what they could really achieve in terms of belief. So I'm so happy to see this Moroccan side keep pushing. And when we talk about some of the young stars that they have, it's just a phenomenal team to watch.
Yeah, Morocco would have to beat Canada to then eventually reach France. I didn't see that in the bracket. You talk about how young this side is, though. They're the third youngest team in the tournament. Do you think them pushing to get to the semis or even potentially the final for this year is just they kind of would have to wait a bit longer till 2030?
Yet again, as you saw, another tough path, right?
Yeah.
Charlie just mapped out what happened a couple of years ago. France is going to be the obstacle. I think we all kind of agree France might be a step ahead of everybody, but I don't know that we'd be so surprised, right, if Morocco had a game where they beat France. But I think you're seeing a nation that's growing. Jimmy touched on it earlier, and I think we should maybe emphasize it. They're doing something right within. Yeah. We just talked about Germany, how everything is kind of falling apart. Well, this is the polar opposite of it, right? You said under 20s, world champions, Olympics, world champions, 22 semifinalists. Like, this is the trajectory of their national team right now. So maybe we should start looking at a footprint of what they're doing.
Start studying Moroccan football.
Start studying it. Yeah, I mean, the league is actually, it's a tough league to play in. It's a league where you get hardened really, really quick. Although a lot of these players play outside of the league, there are some that play in the league. They develop players there. They've done a really good job of recruiting. If you look at dual nationals, we have this struggle all the time in the U.S. Mexico does the same thing. There's a bunch of teams that do it, but they're seemingly doing it better than anyone right now.
Yeah, and their head coach Mohamed Ouabi, he's only coached 9 games under them, Jimmy, so it's very impressive.
Yeah, he comes in, though, with youth national team experience and knowing the player pool, which we've seen with Luis de la Fuente with Spain, right? He came in, he took over before the Euros, they go on to win it. He just had a familiarity with the player pool, maybe a bit of a player whisper. There's a bit of a trust that already existed between him and the younger players in particular. You saw him bring on a ton of young players last night against the Netherlands. I mean, he took off Brahim Diaz. I was like, what is he doing taking off Brahim Diaz? That's your best chance creator, or one of your best chance creators. Puts on some younger players who were really bright and had a ton of confidence and belief and were driving at this Netherlands defense. And so, yeah, I'm really impressed. And I think that trust just builds their depth in a way where we all have said here on the show many times that you're going to have to be pretty deep to win this competition. And I feel like, from what I saw last night, Morocco's got 17, 18, 19 guys that they can trust at any moment.
Yeah, you think about the story they've had since 2022. It's been an incredible one. So, everybody, Netherlands are out of the competition. Morocco are going through to the round of 16. We do have one more game to cover, so we're going to be talking about that one after this quick break.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it? Tell me, can you handle it? The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Yesterday's round of 32 action started in Houston with Brazil needing some late heroics to hold off Japan. So it was Keishu Sawano who gave Japan the early lead before Casemiro tied things up for Brazil in the 56th minute. The match looked headed to extra time before Gabriel Martinelli delivered a 95th minute winner to send the Brazilians to the round of 16, while they'll face the winner of Norway or Ivory Coast. So here is what the papers had to say over in Marca al Limite. To the limit. So it went to the last minute. Gabriel Martinelli's 95th minute winner sent Brazil to the round of 16. First time Brazil have had to come from behind to win a World Cup knockout round since 2002.
Wait, they won the World Cup that year, so that's not a bad thing.
That's very true, Charlie, very true. Do you think this comeback win gave you more or less hope that they're going to win the 6th title, Tony?
If Marco was watching Morning Footy yesterday, they would have figured out that we said this was going to be a tough one, right? The movement in the midfield is exactly how the first goal was started. They pick a ball off. They're running at Casemiro, who looked really slow on the play. In a perfect world, I think most Brazilians probably would have said, take Casemiro off the field, but Ancelotti leaves him on, and then he gets a goal right after that. Like, that's how the game turned out, but I'm not surprised that it was this close. This is a good Japan side, just didn't have enough in the tank. But to your question, I didn't learn anything in match day 4, essentially, for Brazil, right, in their 4th match of this that I didn't see in the first 3 matches.
Okay. I would say that Ancelotti is making this Brazilian side look very Italian-like, because we're so used to seeing Brazil with the flair and the swagger, and them being so dominant in possession, and this Brazilian side is not that. But I will say the resilience and the belief, it feels like it's only growing with Ancelotti on the sidelines. He's done a great job of figuring out ways for this team to win, given that the talent is not what Brazilians are known for, talent that they previously had. And so, are they convincing? No, not at all. Are they getting the job done? Yes. And so now you're saying in this next match, playing against Ivory Coast and Norway, can you see them advancing to the next round? Yeah, I could see that. Is it going to be easy? Hell no, because both teams could beat this Brazilian side. But if anything, I feel more confident with Carlo Ancelotti and him making the right decisions, because Martinelli to come in and score that goal at that moment, that's a big lift for not only Martinelli's confidence, which is what they need because he's a game changer off the bench, but just knowing he knows he's starting to really understand this group and how to get the most out of them.
Let's talk about Don Carlo a little bit, because I feel like when you compare him to Julian Nagelsmann, the German manager, one of these guys knows how to make good decisions in game, and the other one maybe not so much. And I thought it was on full display when he take off Lucas Paquetá at halftime, or maybe Paquetá was hurt, whatever the reason was.
Injury.
Okay, we'll give it to him. We'll say it was an injury. I didn't think he was very good. You put Endrick on. Endrick's been kind of on the fringe for Ancelotti, but he saw, hey, listen, this is a big opportunity.
All the memes with
so many memes. And so you put him on and you go to like a 4-2-4 formation where now you got Cunha and Endrick up top, and now Vinicius can get wide, Ryan can stay wide, and now it just spread out the Japanese defense in a way where they just couldn't reclaim the game anymore. They couldn't generate any momentum when that happened. So at halftime, he made those changes at half, and then in game when he took out Cunha, which was a bit bold, I thought, and brought in Martinelli, put him more central. You're making these slight changes and tweaks that ended up opening up the game. We saw a stat there earlier where if the game's giving you a chances to cross, then you got to cross balls in. And Casemiro found himself really high up the field, wide open to the back post.
And by the way,
a center back.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Gabriel's the one crossing the ball in. So you have to take what the game's giving you, and I thought that was good IQ from the Brazilian players, but also identifying that from the coaching staff too. I don't think they're going to go on to win it, but I do think that they continue to grow with each passing game. They're like, hey, maybe we are good enough, and I'm curious to see how far that takes them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hannah, I love this quote when he said, it's easy to play well, it's hard to win, right? And that's what it's about for him. It's about winning. His teams aren't always the most aesthetically pleasing, right? Although winning is pleasing to most fans, excuse me, but that's what I think we got out of him. And that's what we're getting out of him in this group. But yeah, the contrast to like a Nagelsmann, as you mentioned, is incredible.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if it wasn't Carlo Ancelotti coaching this Brazilian side, and let's say it was a Brazilian manager, I think Neymar is playing.
Right? He would have got in to solve the problem.
Not only that, I think you're not seeing an organized Brazil. So what Ancelotti did with this Brazilian side is give them structure, because they don't have the jogo bonito that you would expect, where it's free-flowing and then you have your individuals carry the load in the attacking third. That wouldn't be the case. Ancelotti has brought structure and discipline and organization to this side, and that has made the difference for them going forward.
He actually told Neymar that if we haven't equalized by a certain minute, I think the 75th minute, he was going to put him in. But that didn't happen because they had equalized.
Yeah, so it seems like Ancelotti's kind of instilling those strengths within this squad. Tony, you said you didn't learn anything yesterday, so what's the potential weakness going into the round of 16?
The midfield speed. And again, they got exploited a little bit. The movement from Japan, I think we thought that was going to happen. We talked about it up at the board. And they're not a dynamic team. I don't look at them as a team that is free-flowing anymore. And then, Brazilians will tell you, Jogo Bonito went out years ago. When all the players started going to Europe, the Brazilian national team, the flair changed, right? So this, to me, still looks like a very Carlo Ancelotti Real Madrid team his last couple of years. Counterattack, moments, finding ways to win, which is not a bad thing at all, right? You find ways to win, and there you see the bracket. I have in my bracket Norway beating Ivory Coast. I mean, that's another tough game, but and then Brazil going on and losing to Norway, because I'm not completely sold on this Brazilian
I had that
side.
quarterfinal, England, Brazil, rematch 2002 quarterfinal.
There you go.
Who do you think will give him a tougher test, Ivory Coast or Norway, Jimmy?
I have Ivory Coast getting through this bracket, and I know it's their first time in the knockout rounds, but I feel like sometimes when you kind of get that off of your back, you can go and play free. This Ivory Coast team playing free is very exciting. So I think they'll get past Norway, and if they can carry that momentum into this Brazilian, if I was Brazil, I'd rather play Norway, because you really if we can just neutralize one player in Erling Haaland, we pretty much neutralize Norway, whereas when you look at Ivory Coast team, they can hurt you in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Should we talk about Japan then? Because I feel like we have to give our flowers to them, don't we? They've had so much heartbreak in the round of 16 in the World Cup, haven't they? You think in 2018 they lost in the 94th minute, 2022 they lost on penalties, and then yesterday they lost in the 95th minute. What do you think is that thing they need to push them over the edge to finally win in a knockout round? Anyone want to go?
Well, who are you asking?
So I'll jump in and say, listen, they were missing a couple key players that in this game could have proved to be the difference. So Mitoma, who plays at Brighton, you have Minamino, who plays at Monaco, Endo plays for Liverpool, Taki Kubo, who they've relied on, who started the first game, played 75 minutes against the Dutch, got a knee injury. If those four guys were available to them,
it's a big miss.
It's just like, it's a big miss. You got some guys that can hurt you on the counter, they can hurt you in build-up, they can hurt you in a lot of different ways. So it's probably maybe an easy excuse here for the team and the federation to say, hey, if we would have had these five players, it would have made a difference. You still you got to win. Every team's going to have some injuries, but these five are really notable. These were five that they were counting on in a big way, and at some point, the people underneath them weren't going to be able to continue to sustain that level. Yeah,
the head coach Moriyasu said it's actually becoming a psychological problem that we haven't won in the knockout rounds. How do players overcome that then going into 2030 or World Cups after that, Tony?
I think you should ask the Arsenal fan, right? How you get over the
Charlie,
hump,
you
right?
answer it now.
Gosh, I don't know.
Try again.
I mean, you got to keep going, right? And you got to get past it. Unfortunately, they draw Brazil in this round, right? Who was clearly just a step above them. I feel like when I watch Japan over the years, they same style. The style is the same, Chuck, but they never like really change anything like a target forward, you know, a winger that's just someone that takes on. It's always very disciplined, great movement, understanding, good balance. Like creating one of those dynamic players.
That's why I think Matoma would have been that guy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But what do? You can't just stop trying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Probably Brazil's toughest test in this round that they could have faced. Would you agree,
They had
Charlie?
Haiti, Scotland, or Morocco game. Morocco game, it was tough.
Although Morocco were the better side, Brazil still, through Vinny Jr., found a way to stay in the game. So it was a draw, and I think that was a good game for them to kick off this World Cup campaign, Brazil. But Japan, again, they have quality, and it's all the way up. You know, we've been seeing it through the youth teams for a long time. They're developing players, but it's just that experience of how to close out games. You know, the little things in a match that you can do to waste time, to kill off plays, the right fouls. Like it's small details. It's not the bigger picture. It's small details. And then eventually Japan will get across the line.
Yeah. So for now, Japan are going home, but Brazil are through to the round of 16. Everybody, we're going to be taking a quick break here on Morning Footy. We've got much more 48 nations coming up on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt. What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Morning Footy, 48 Nations, everybody. Time for my favourite part of the show, Morning Footy trivia. So the question today is, Mexico's last World Cup knockout round win came in 1986 against what opponent?
Belgium.
Ooh, West Germany.
No, West Germany, 80s, they lost to
Spain?
England.
Okay, so we've had a lot of answers there.
West
and
Germany or
the answer
I'd say
is
Belgium.
Jimmy's correct. Oh no.
Bulgaria.
Sorry.
I guess we spell Belgium differently, I guess.
Sorry, I got confused. Bulgaria 2-0 win.
Yeah.
So,
Belgium 2-0 win.
Jimmy,
yeah.
I'll give you half a point.
I'll take it. It starts with a B.
There we go. Okay, everybody, we've got Claudia in with the headlines, and she's looking like she's ready to go to the tennis in Wimbledon. Looking good,
ready.
Claudia.
I'm ready. I have my backhand. I've got the front hand. I got to work on my
Forehand. My front hand.
Nice.
You absolutely crushed it at tennis camp.
That's why I covered soccer and not tennis.
That's why you moved over to football.
Exactly. All right, guys, how about we do get into some World Cup news? But before we do that, we do actually have some major transfer news that we want to touch on. Nico will not be leaving Como this summer. The Argentinian sensation will be staying with the Serie A side after Como reached an agreement with Real Madrid. Los Blancos exercised their transfer option to buy Paz back before selling him back to Como for a reported $70 million fee. Real Madrid retains a buyback option for Paz that's worth $94 million, but now Paz will be staying with a Como side that is set to play in the UEFA Champions League next season under Cesc Fabregas. Moving over now to World Cup news, Ronald Koeman is reportedly set to step down as Dutch national team coach after the Netherlands were eliminated from the World Cup last night. Koeman drew criticism for his tactics against Morocco, which led to a penalty shootout loss in the round of 32. So the Dutch deployed a 5-defender system for the first time this World Cup, and Koeman defended that tactical decision, saying, quote, "You will criticize me and that's your right, but you watch football from the sidelines. I'm with the team. I knew what needed to be improved. This is how I improved it. And once again, if I had to do it again, I would have done exactly the same." Staying with World Cup news, the U.S. men's national team will be back in action tomorrow against Bosnia and Herzegovina. And while the Americans will be favored to advance, they won't be taking the Bosnians lightly. USMNT captain Tim Ream spoke to the media yesterday and emphasized how important the team's tempo will be in their attempt to break down an opponent that is expected to play in a defensive setup. Take a listen.
Just moving the ball quick, as quick as you possibly can, side to side, getting runs in behind, and just really unbalancing their shape. It sounds simple, and that's really the key to any team you play, no matter if they're playing in a low block, medium block, high press, whatever you want to call it. It's just going to be about moving the ball quickly and getting it into areas that they're really uncomfortable with.
So, Jimmy, the U.S. men's national team, they played at a really fast tempo in their first 2 wins. So how important do you think a quick tempo will be here to breaking down a potential low block?
Yeah, I think it's really important. We talk about tempo a lot on our podcast, Call What You Want, shameless plug alert. And that's, for me, the big emphasis, not only with tempo, but also in rhythm. So when we move the ball around, how are we controlling the areas of the field, given where our numbers are? And I think we've done a nice job of creating numerical advantages out wide in particular. So I agree with him. We've scored in the first 11 minutes of each game so far in this tournament, including the Turkey game, when we scored 3 minutes in Austin Trusty off a set piece. But we earned that set piece by putting ourselves in good positions and playing the ball quick and moving it around. So I'm in full agreement with Tim Ream, our captain, and I'm hopeful that we can execute at a high level.
Charlie, Tony, you in full agreement?
Yeah, no, we broke it down yesterday, right? We talked about Christian Pulisic and breaking the double team on his side of the field. We talked about Sergiño Dest against Said Kolasinac, right, on their left back. I think we have to dominate those parts of the field, the wide areas of the field. And we can't get into, I don't think, just balls swung in aimlessly from wide, because the 2 big center backs are pretty good. So we got to be good taking players on, drawing players, and like we've done, especially the first 2 games.
Yeah, we've seen the US score quite early in this World Cup so far, haven't we? Say if they weren't to score early and maybe they were to go down early, Charlie, how do you think they'd handle that?
I think they'd handle it perfectly well. I mean,
yeah.
Both my guys here have talked about the tempo, but I'll even take it a step further. The intensity to win the ball back has been phenomenal, because it's one thing to have the ball, have possession, dictate, and we've been unpredictable on top of that. So I love the different types of runs we're getting from our wide players. You have to be able to run at players individually, one-on-one, not be afraid to beat people on the dribble, which has been a joy to see. But when we don't have the ball, how quickly can we get it back? And the intensity to get it back has been spot on. Every single player has been bought in, and I love the fact that it's not your players that are known for being defensive, top players, whether it's Malik Tillman, whether it's Christian, whether it's Balogun, and then Tyler Adams has been, the guy that we've always been known to run, get it back, and provide cover. He's been able to just protect the back four, back three, whatever it is, and I think, with that being said, I feel very confident and comfortable with where this group is right now.
So for me, some of the most important passes in a game are the ones that you make right after you win it, and we've been excellent in that. So that's where tempo comes back in. So right when you win the ball, how do we unlock their pressure? They're trying to now win it back, and if we can now unlock it one more time, that's where we've been absolutely killing teams. Even in the Turkey game, there are a lot of good evidence and sequences with that. If we can do that against Bosnia, to Tim Ream's point and to what we're saying here, we're going to be in a good position to win the game.
And you three are going to Chicago after this show to go.
Yeah, we're just going for the pizza.
Yeah.
Deep dish, baby.
Chi-town.
That would be nice to do a special call it what you want. Excited to watch that.
Hang out with some fans, pre-game, post-game, have a little bit of fun, and hopefully enjoy a good win.
Yeah, you guys have been very busy. So the US men's national team taking on Bosnia and Herzegovina tomorrow. Everybody, we are going to take a quick break here on Morning Footy. We've got much more 48 nations coming up on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
A crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
American Women's soccer is taking centre stage this summer with the 2026 World Cup being played here in the USA. And CBS Sports has a trio of documentaries that help tell the story of the sport in this country like no one else can. Take a look.
Soccer isn't a new game in the United States. The immigrants brought it here in 1912.
The opportunity to play for my country, I just could not pass that up.
We're all very proud of you.
Not everyone is aware of what happened in important historical moments for American soccer.
I was a kid that shouldn't have made it. Kid from Nacogdoches, Texas.
Clint Dempsey Doodle.
Kind of one of those things I wasn't going to be denied.
People criticize me often.
You can't take it seriously. It's the USA.
But I get to have that attention because I'm good.
We were carrying the weight of American soccer on our shoulders.
I'm gonna put it shot.
Probably unfair to 20 guys.
When he looks at you, he looks like he wants to kill you. And I have respect for that.
It's about how much are you willing to give to win.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
The USA has realized its dream.
Dempsey through the ball. What can this kid do?
Paramount Plus is your one-stop for the best documentaries in American soccer. You Don't Know Where I'm From, Doug. The story of Clint Dempsey is one of several docuseries, along with Pulisic, a 9-part docuseries which gives you a behind-the-scenes look into the life and story of US star Christian Pulisic. And then Billion Dollar Goal, a 3-part docuseries focused on the biggest game-changing moment in American soccer history. And you can watch all 3 documentaries exclusively on Paramount Plus. Coming up next, everybody, we've got much more Morning Footy.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back Back to Morning Footy, everybody. So we're well into the round of 32. Charlie just had his feet up on the table.
I saw a vibe meter. I was like this. I was like, oh, vibe meter. I'm good. Let's go.
You've remembered we're on TV. So time to do our vibe meter, everybody. So the vibe meter is going to be how long of a vacation does this nation have left in the World Cup? So these are the categories. World title cruise, dream all-inclusive, glamping, weekend getaway, short bus trip, staycation. Tony, you understand that?
No.
Well,
not at all.
Well, that's not too good because you're first.
Okay.
You're going to have to give us on the vibe meter.
Oh, so for the U.S. men's national team?
Yes.
Okay. What's world title cruise? What's the next one?
Dream
all-inclusive.
I mean, if they could make the font a little bit smaller for me, that would be great again.
So glamping or dream all-inclusive?
Dream all-inclusive right now. That's where I'm at.
That's where the vibes are.
Yeah, that's where my vibes are with this group. Although you can be nervous on that cruise, right, while you're there?
Well, in case it sinks.
Yeah.
You
can go full Titanic.
But it's all-inclusive, so you should feel pretty good.
Is it a Disney cruise as well? Disney cruise, you like them, don't you, Charlie?
I love Disney trips, not the cruise.
Oh, not the cruise. No. Oh, okay, so all-inclusive
Yeah, so that's where I am with the U.S. men's national team.
So vibes are high. Charlie, you agree?
Vibes high. Total agreement with Tones.
Yeah, full agreement with both of these guys.
I'm not going to go here and sit here and go, hey, Title Town, here we come. You know, we're gonna lift the World Cup trophy. But if you told me, is this team poised for a deep run? 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
First step is Bosnia, so have a good performance there. If we can replicate what we did against Paraguay, we could make a really good run.
And I think it's also important to note, as the U.S. is watching these knockout round games unfold, that what you did in the group stage is in the past.
Yeah.
It's like a separate tournament now.
Teams can change. The importance of mentality is more so now the way to progress than ever, because teams can, as we saw against Germany, Paraguay said, guys, we gotta want it more than they do, and we're gonna defend with our lives, and they're able to progress. Morocco said, hey, we're gonna outpossess the Netherlands. We don't care about their history. We don't care about their big names. Play our style, and the rest will take care of itself. So I think this U.S. side have to make sure they don't take Bosnia lightly and continue to put the foot on the gas.
Yeah, OK, so the vibes are high with the US taking on Bosnia and Herzegovina tomorrow. On to our next one. Jimmy, I'm coming to you on this one. Canada, where would you put them on the vibe?
Yeah, Canada, I would say dream all-inclusive as well, just because they've got nothing but to dream, to be honest. I know Charlie's given me some negative response to this, but they've already made history. They got their first win. Well, let's go back. They got their first point in a World Cup. They got their first win by beating Qatar 6-0. They got into the knockout rounds. They win their first knockout round game. So they're dreaming.
I would agree.
Now they're going to continue to be dreaming with it. They think they can beat Morocco. Morocco is so good, and I think it's going to be a really tough test for them. But even Jesse Marsch, their coach, has basically come out and said, we're playing with house money at this point. So
they're glamping, is what you're saying.
Okay. Well, I guess we define glamping, and I feel like they're just they're in dreamland at this point.
So the vibe for Canada is, we're feeling pretty good. Like, we're playing with house money. We've exceeded all expectations. And in reality, they have. I don't see them going past Morocco. That's like a David and Goliath at this stage of the World Cup for Canada to do it. Is it impossible? No. Could it happen? Yeah, it could happen. But realistically, I think Morocco have so much more quality than this Canadian side. So I do think, for me, it's more. I understand where you're coming from, but I'd go glamping.
He's agreeing to disagree.
Tony, you're the decider.
I'm not counting anybody out of this World Cup. I don't think you can, based on what we've seen throughout the entirety of this tournament so far. I'm with Jimmy on this one, only because they've already gotten to the round of 16, right? They've done that part of the work. I can understand both arguments, but I would personally would stay there.
Well, you think as well, you mentioned it, Jimmy, first point, first win, first knockout stage win. Charlie, that doesn't persuade you?
Against a Morocco, no.
OK. All right, then we'll leave it there. On to our next one. Charlie, this one's for you now. Portugal.
I disagree immediately.
Whatever Charlie
Whatever he says, I'm going to say the opposite.
The vibe. Oof. this Portugal side has not played anywhere near their potential. So the promise is that we're getting better. We're going to get there. I have them in my bracket upsetting Spain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that means that they get by Croatia, which is also going to be difficult. I just think Croatia have beaten themselves up because they're tired. You know, I just think that they're fatigued after this World Cup. A lot of their guys are on the older side. They're not young spring chickens anymore. So Portugal, I'm going to give them glamping.
I think that's a bit high.
You think that's high? Knowing the players that they have in their team?
I think knowing the players that they have on their team, right, it's been a weekend getaway for me because I've expected so much more, not just a 5-0 against, was it Uzbekistan, right, in that match? I've expected so much more, and they've changed 22 players. Ronaldo's the only guy that hasn't come off the field. I still think Roberto Martinez has an issue if he doesn't take at some point and make a change in that position somewhere along the way. You want to start him perfect, but you can't tell me that he's been good for 270 minutes.
No, I agree with that. I would say I was disappointed in the performance against Colombia. I thought Colombia just was in charge and running that game, and we had expectations that Portugal would be doing that in every single match because they have the quality to do so. So there is a bit of a drop-off. They're one of our favorites, dark horses, to make a deep run in this. You clearly still have them involved. I think the promise is that they haven't played their best game yet. We've said that about a few nations, and one or two of these nations are going to step up and be like, all right, they can hit the switch and they can go. Only a few of those countries can. I think Portugal does have that quality, but we'll have to wait and see against a very good Croatia team.
I think.
So where did you go with it?
I'm with you. I'm a little bit more of a weekend getaway.
Yeah, I'd say glamping's a bit high for a team that only had 1 win in the group stage. 2 draws. All right. No answer. It's all right.
Who'd they play? You know, it's not like they played rollover teams, right?
What do you mean?
Well, they beat Uzbekistan.
They beat Uzbekistan 5-0. They lost against DR. No, they drew with DR Congo. You would expect.
Who went on to the next round? Who are not walkovers,
4 points.
right? And then they tied a Colombia side. So
Yeah,
if you're telling me that's worst case scenario, that's worst case scenario for Portugal, it's not too bad.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see how they do against Modric and Croatia. I've got them going through, so I'm with you, Charlie.
All right.
Into the next one, Jimmy, Spain. Where would you put them on the vibe meter?
Yeah, so kind of similar to Portugal. It's almost a similar narrative where you're expecting more from them and they haven't really produced. I'm going to most likely say glamping and kind of swim in the same waters that Chuck was explaining with Portugal. I think what's interesting about Spain is they have yet to give up a goal. So they're really locked in on that side of the ball, and there's a huge emphasis on that, I think, from Luis de la Fuente. They've scored 7 goals, only given up 0. They obviously had more than enough chances to get the full 3 points against Cabo Verde. They're working some guys back to full health. Lamine Yamal, now Jeremy Pino's out. Nico Williams is most likely out. Victor Munoz is most likely out. So they're going to have some issues maybe on that side and maybe being a little bit more one-sided with Lamine Yamal getting more of the attention, which I think it makes them easier to defend in some capacity. But I do like that they've been really stout defensively, and I think that gives them a chance, especially against Austria. For me, I'm less worried about that. I think Austria gave a ton of energy trying to get back in their game against Algeria, and there might be an emotional drop-off there against the Spain team that's still looking to play their very best. But I do appreciate that they've been very good on that side of the ball, and if they can continue to do that, that this gives them a good chance to get results.
I'm going to agree to disagree with Jimbo.
What a shocker.
So, as we see, they have not conceded a goal. And they have Lamine Yamal getting more fit and more sharp as we progress throughout this tournament. So probably if you ask them and how they really feel, the vibes, world title cruise. They think they can win this World Cup. And they're only, of course, their hopes really rely on Lamine Yamal's health because he is that difference maker for them. And they most likely will get Nico Williams back to at least more fit to be an impact player as they progress through this tournament. So for me, they're in title contention mode.
Yeah, the Lamine coming back, fact that they haven't given up goals as they talked about, the loss of Nico Williams, although he hasn't, or the injury to Nico Williams, he hasn't been great for them. He hasn't been great all year, truth be told, but I still think it's a guy that can make a difference. I kind of said, yeah, I'll stay with Jimmy. Or I'll go with in that side of the table. Yeah.
Okay. We could potentially be seeing Spain versus the US in the quarterfinals if the teams were to win their games. How do you see that one going?
We'd have to do another vibe meter, right? See where we're at.
Dreamland.
Yeah.
That means the U.S. would have to win 2 knockout round matches to get to that match. So
yeah,
we're going to pump the brakes there.
Okay, you don't want to talk about it?
No.
Okay, let's just wait and see what happens with Bosnia first. I think we're going to take a look at some of your YouTube comments, everybody, and we're going to hit the chat. First one, I'm with Tony on Portugal.
What did I say on Portugal?
I'm just going to think.
That was 2 minutes ago.
Who's that, Alfonso?
I was going to say, remind me where you put them on the vibe meter.
Yeah, I don't remember where I put them. Yeah, just that maybe they haven't lived up. I expected more out of that midfield, I think is where it was. Yeah.
Someone put,
I'm with Alfonso.
Yeah, thanks, Alfonso. Someone put, it was not the coach fault.
Which team is he talking about?
Nagelsmann?
That's
Germany?
Let's ignore that one. It's fine. If they do not play Ronaldo, Portugal could win the World Cup.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he needs to play. What I've seen from Roberto Martinez is that he just has a reluctancy to take him out of the game. I just think if you took the name off the back, right, and you looked at this, and I've been sitting with these here and here, you hadn't told me. I didn't. If you just took the name off the back and you just looked at the play, you would have said at some point, I got to take this guy off the field. I have to change this position. And I don't think we've seen that from Roberto. Well, we haven't seen it from him.
We just can't do that with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, I know, but he has to be helping your team. I get it from the start. You play, but he's the only guy that's. By the way, wouldn't you want to rest him at his age? At some point, you want to give him a rest. Right? He's the only guy who has a.
And that would make sense as a coach too. Like, hey, buddy, you're 41. Let's just
I need you
manage your time. Let's
I need
play
you
games.
I need you for the next round. I got to give you a break, And I know they don't. Messi, they don't want to come off the field. I get it, but I don't know. I just saw a moment where they could have taken him off the field at some point.
Someone's commented here. I've got Croatia winning on penalties. So it goes
more than possible. Croatia, look at the history over the last 2 World Cups in particular. They know how to win games. They're just grind things out.
They're tired. They put a lot of minutes on those legs, a lot of years on those legs, a lot of those guys. I look at Modric, Ivan Perisic. These guys have played so many games for so long that eventually just catches up with you, And I know how much experience, how valuable experience is, how experience can play a big role in these knockout round games. If they can play a little bit more defensive, but we've seen Croatia, they're up and down.
Yeah.
They're so committed. So it's going to be a tough game, but I just see Portugal.
Any team in world football is punched above their weight.
Croatia.
Yeah.
It's Croatia.
It will be a good watch, everybody. Coming up next, we've got much more Morning Footy, 48 Nations, continuing all the conversations on these upcoming games.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt. What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad would want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Well, England and DR Congo go head-to-head tomorrow. England remain undefeated after being the more dominant team against their opponents, holding on to 65% of the possession while converting 6 of their 20 shots on target into goals. DR Congo, on the other hand, haven't had the majority of the possession in their matches, but they've been efficient, putting 7 shots on target that led to 4 goals. Now, ahead of this match, England's coach Thomas Tuchel spoke on the worries surrounding their right-back injuries after their game against Panama, so take a listen.
Naturally, of course, we have another injury on the position. We will do everything. It will be a tight race for Reece James. It will be now a very tight race for Jarell Quansah. So I'm worried about these two, but in general, then it's our job to find solutions, and we will find solutions in 4 days.
So, Tony, Reece James is out. Jarell Quansah is a doubt for this one. Do you think Tuchel's decision to not bring Trent Alexander-Arnold is kind of going back to haunt him right now?
It's so easy to look at it now, right? He clearly didn't rate him as the player that he needed in this position to start the competition, or he would have brought him, right? So we can always look back now. I think the challenge for Thomas Tuchel is, who is it? Is it Jed Spence? Is it somebody else? We'll always go back with injuries and go, okay, this guy should have been here. We're going to go back to the lack of creativity in this team and go, oh, we should have brought in Phil Foden or, Cole Palmer or somebody like that. Like, we're always going to look. They got to figure it out now. This is the group that they have.
Yeah, for me, with regard to Trent, maybe he falls into the Cole Palmer, Phil Foden category in terms of, if I bring him and then don't play them, it's going to cause a lot of noise and headaches that I just don't want to deal with during the tournament. However, now that he's got significant injuries to some players, I'm sure it would be nice, especially because they have been lacking some creativity, Chuck, of having someone that can hit that pass from a little bit deeper in the field.
I was so underwhelmed with England. I got to watch the game live versus Ghana. And you're talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's a player that can create from you from those wide areas in service. Harry Kane was invisible in that game, and he missed a sitter. And I always attribute when strikers that are that clinical miss sitters typically, it's because they're not involved. And Harry Kane barely touched the ball in that game. And I also felt that there was a lack of creativity. They were predictable in the way that they played. Now, I wouldn't expect this English side to be predictable whatsoever when they have so many stars that are comfortable on the ball. But that's what we've looked at. And we just talked about a vibe meter with Portugal and Spain. The vibe meter with England has to be low. They've been underwhelming. They have not been a team that you're fearful of, considering that they have a Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice and a Harry Kane in the team. They just have not been a team that you would like to see play. There's no joy in the way that they've played.
And we saw the same story. We saw them live against Panama just a couple days ago here.
Uninspiring?
We could have given the same analysis of the game that you just gave.
Yeah, well, our guy Jeff Shreves has been following England during the World Cup, being on the sidelines. So, Jeff, what has the energy been around this English team since you've been there? And, of course, you do keep up with everything that's going on in England as well. So, what is also the English media saying about everything going on around this England team?
Hang on, Claudia. Before we get to that, what is going on? I've been away for 5 minutes. You've changed all the furniture. You're rocking up at 10 o'clock in the morning? What's happened?
It's nice.
Nice.
Hey, you've inspired us, Jeff. You've inspired us.
Hey, and Chuck, stop being so down on the England team.
Give me.
Thomas Tuchel
Wait, Jeff. Before you go, give me a club team right now in the Premier League that you would say compares to where this English team is performing right now.
Yeah, I'll give you a Premier League comparison, Charlie. And so I did Paraguay yesterday against Germany, and England against Ghana was very similar. Germany against Ecuador was very similar. The way these teams play, and right now in the World Cup, everyone's saying these teams, you know, they are so clever. They're making the most of what they've got. They don't try and take them on at football. And Paraguay was superb. They were so disciplined yesterday. And Charlie, it's exactly the same as Arsenal against PSG in the Champions League final. You have to give credit to the way teams are playing when they know they can't beat them at football. Ghana were excellent. So I don't think if you had even more creative players, it would have been easier for any team the way that they play against them. But Thomas Tuchel, when I did ask him about this after the game the other day, he said, we can get better and you will see the real England when we play teams in the knockout stages, teams that want to play and want to win. So I do think you have to respect the opposition when you're analysing all of these games.
All right, so Jeff, let's talk about the right-back situation. Do you feel like there'll be any regrets for not bringing in Trent Alexander-Arnold from Thomas Tuchel's perspective?
Yeah, Jimmy, as Tony said, hindsight is a wonderful gift. I mean, don't forget, Ezri Konsa can play there, but we don't know. The mysterious one is the fitness of John Stones. What's happening with him? If he's not available, then there it does, become a problem. You're talking about Jed Spence going out there. So then Nico Riley will go left back. So they've got enough to cover, but there's a big difference between cover and having a specialist fullback. And it's not so much creativity that they're missing in the fullback position. When you're playing converted centre halves, there's no overlaps. There's nobody getting done. There's no relationship between whether it's Rashford or Saka on either side. There's no relationship with the fullback getting past them. There's none of that triangle. So that's where England are lacking at the moment. This England team is still finding its way. It's still yet to settle down into a pattern and relationships to form on the pitch. So we're waiting to see that. And in the next opponent as well, it's going to be very, very similar to the Ghana game, similar to the Panama game. They will throw a blanket over the whole thing. It's up to England to find holes and pick the way through.
Jeff, is there a word to describe what England's done so far? I mean, I was using the word the other day, uninspiring. I mean, we watched, as I mentioned, we were at the Panama game. They were uninspiring. I thought Rashford was okay. Elliot Anderson's passing range is great, but the game was in front of him the whole time, so I thought it was fairly easy for him. There were a couple of Jude Bellingham we picked out in that game, but outside of that, they were fairly uninspiring against Panama. But is there a word you would use?
Perspective is the word I'd use, Tony.
Okay.
They won the group. They went through. They're unbeaten. I thought the best... I agree with what you're saying, but they beat Panama. So is it how or how many? What is the game here? Mm-hmm. And now, this might come back to haunt them later if those patterns continue against better teams, but you can only beat who's in front of you. So their best half easily was the second half against Croatia, and the way that Tuchel took the team talk at half-time, said, come on, guys, relax. You've got to play a certain way. But the vibe in when we do the flash interviews, particularly around Harry Kane, he's very, it sounds daft in some ways. It's not just him saying the right words, but he's literally bouncing between interviews. And there's a lot of demands, as you guys know. You've all done this as well, and you, Claudia, of course. There's a lot of demands and a lot of time the players, I've got to go and do that interview. They're not. They're happy to talk to everybody. There's a good feeling within the camp. And the camp itself is fairly upbeat. Whenever I've seen, they'll stop and have a chat. They're quite positive. It's as though they've built a shield around them. And you guys, again, you know what it's like to be in camp. You've got to ignore all of the noise
especially
outside.
If it's
so
negative,
for instance,
Jeff.
You said to...
Well,
exactly.
And I'm curious, Jeff, because you brought up a good point. The camp feels good. You clearly said, hey, it's about getting the job done, and we don't care how it looks. But you personally, do you feel that this team has what it takes to win the World Cup? Do you feel like by the end you could say, hey, it's coming home?
well, the way the Americans are talking, it's staying home, isn't it? So we've got to wrestle it off of you, according to the media. Charlie, the problem is I've seen France, and they are just beyond awesome. They are incredible. And when you see them up close, when you see them on the turf, their level of skill, I mean, against Norway, which a game they only needed a draw from, and I know Norway made a load of changes, so they really could have gone out there and been fairly laissez-faire. Oh, my days. They are just exceptional. And in that game, you've now got France who are having their own mini Golden Boot competition within their own team. It's just, they are scarily good. England as well, I think the defence isn't right. That could cost them. So, no, right now, they don't look like a World Cup winning team. But I think you've got to go all the way back to Brazil, was it? In last time, the team that won the World Cup won all of their opening group games. So you don't have to hit peak form right at the start of the tournament.
Well, Jeff, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the sidelines for your next game.
Appreciate you. Look after the place for me.
We will. All right. So, Charlie, you asked Jeff to use a Premier League team and describe them to how England is. And I think Arsenal is fair enough because corner kicks have been really the thing for England. They've been struggling to score in open play, but when it comes to set pieces, that's where they have been finding some success. So maybe that's what could help everything tilt in England's favor. So that does bring us to our Enterprise on every corner section presented by Enterprise. This tournament, every corner kick goal is your chance to win a car. So England has taken 24 corner kicks and they're expected to convert over 1.5 of them into goals. They are second highest on the list, right behind Ecuador. So Charlie, do you see England pushing maybe harder in this game to get corners against Congo, seeing as how that has been working in their favor?
Especially if Congo take the approach of let's be compact and defensively resilient and not giving up space, then set pieces are clearly a way to take advantage of teams like that. What also stands out to me is Ecuador. They're playing against Mexico in Azteca. The altitude, the heat. Well, one way to neutralize Mexico is on set pieces. Same thing as you saw with Senegal when they're playing against Belgium. So I fully expect England, if they can't score through the run of play, to take advantage of the corner kick situation.
Yeah, I think England needs to take notes from Colombia. I thought they were excellent against Congo, and Daniel Munoz in particular running from deep. So that's where that right back spot becomes pretty apparent for England, not having someone dynamic in that area that likes to get forward and join the attack. If they get too wing heavy and it slows the play down, that's where they get a little stagnant. But if they can kind of lean on just these deep runs and just taking chances, I think they could hurt Congo in that way.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the projected lineups for both sides. Charlie, walk us through this. What particular matchups are you looking at in this one?
Yeah, so Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been great for Congo. I mean, he's been dominating flanks. I absolutely love what he's given them. So Rashford playing against his former Man United teammate in Wan-Bissaka, that's going to be interesting. Also, Nico O'Reilly getting up and down. We've seen what he can do on the weak side when the ball's down here with Bukayo Saka, him crashing the box with Rashford. So I'm going to be watching that in particular when we talk about individual matchups. But the two up top, Wissa and Bakambu, my former teammate, they're going to give a lot of problems to Konsa and Gehi. They're going to be testing. They're constantly making runs in behind. So they'll sit back and defend, but those two will get forward on the counter. So that's something that England will have to be watching out for.
It's hard to talk about this Congo side without talking about their defense and the organization, right? Tuanzebe anchors this thing. Sometimes they get help from wide players. Sometimes they get help, and it looks like five in the back from somebody centrally. But they're really organized. They're comfortable being in those positions, right? This is how this team is set up. And to Jeff's point about breaking them down, I still think that they needed one of those creative guys, right? Guy to break someone down on the dribble. This will be a really, really tough test. This is not the game that Jeff was talking about, or Thomas Tuchel. Well, no, he was saying when we get to the teams that open it up, you're going to see the real England.
Yeah.
This is not the game that's going to get opened up in that way.
Well, it's funny because when he was saying that, Thomas Tuchel, hey, we get that to knockout. What team's going to open up in the knockout rounds? Most teams are going to do this, especially if you're playing against a superior side on paper, right? In England, they have all these big names. Well, most teams are going to set up this way and say, come England, we don't trust your back line, so we're going to counter. We're going to try and play in behind you. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, England's going to have more of the ball. They're going to drive more of the game. I think Impasi in goal is going to have to stand up and make a couple big plays, make a couple big saves. That's just how it goes. We've already seen a couple knockout round games where the goalkeeper becomes so important if they can make that timely save.
I think this one's tougher for Pickford because I don't think he's going to be the busier of the two. And as a goalkeeper, it's always the most difficult games, right? You get balls down there for 60, 70 minutes, and all of a sudden, boom, it comes down your end. You got to make, I think he becomes a really important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. All right, well, so much to look forward to. England taking on DR Congo tomorrow, but don't forget, lots of matches kicking off today. We are going to take a quick break here, though, on Morning Footy. Much more 48 Nations coming up.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. With the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Morning Footy, 48 Nations, everyone. It's day 21 of 41 on Nico Cantor's coast-to-coast RV trip. So he started, well, actually halfway through his journey in Kansas City. Then he went all the way down to Miami, where he's from, to watch a couple of games down there. Also hosted in Argentina, Sado. And now he's on his way to Atlanta, coming in live from the RV trip. From the RV, actually, Nico Cantor. Nico, lovely to see you. Day 21 of 41. Nico, how are you?
What's up, guys? Better than ever. Are you kidding me? My Montecito, I'm on my way to watch England against DR Congo, the game that you guys were just previewing after the results yesterday. We're finally getting to a stage where we go from the celebratory nature of the World Cup in the group stage, everybody on display, to where the stakes get real and eliminations have consequences and they ripple across the world. You saw the way that Uruguay went out. You saw the way that Korea were received at the hotel, and now Germany, the Netherlands, getting knocked out by underdogs in the Paraguayan sense, Morocco doing their thing. Man, I love the World Cup. Great vibes. I'm ready to go.
And Nico, you look very refreshed. You had a haircut in Miami?
In Orlando, actually.
Oh, in Orlando, okay.
And it was a pretty quick one. Yeah. So they did a pretty good job. So I'm refreshed. Ready
Was it
Atlanta and everything
Humberto
that's
that gave you the cut? Was it Humberto?
No. So usually I Chuck, you know me, I'm very particular about my haircuts, and in New York I found that Dominicans are like haircut barber goats, you know, like they really kill it. Between like Lebanese and Turks and Dominicans, I think you could do a barbershop World Cup and they would be to the final without a doubt, right? Those three countries. So I'm very particular when I choose my nationalities of who cuts my hair. And the guy that cut my hair yesterday, Puerto Rican from New York. So shout out to Jalen. He really did a good job. At first, I didn't have that much faith, and he pulled through. So Puerto Ricans might have just climbed my power rankings of barbershops.
All right, lovely, Nico. Well, you're looking good. We thought to help pass some time on your ride to Atlanta, we're going to play a quick game with you. So we're going to play What's More Likely.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
We know you like to play this one in studio with us, so we thought we'd bring it to the RV. So the first one, what is more likely? Messi wins his second World Cup this summer or Mbappe?
Oh, so basically France or Argentina. What's more likely? I don't know. Whew. I'll say Mbappe wins. I think in a final there, if they are to get to the final, both teams, I think France is a little bit more favorite. I want to see Argentina against a good team, and I haven't seen that yet.
That was the most painful answer I've
back
seen
to
from
back,
Nico.
Yeah.
That was literally the most painful.
He had to think hard about it.
He was trying to be unbiased. I know you're trying to be unbiased. I know how painful it is. But the way Argentina have played in this World Cup, and the way Messi in particularly has played, you can't tell me you're not feeling good about the chances of Argentina repeating.
And their road on the knockouts.
No, don't get me wrong. I feel very confident about Argentina's chances. I think they are legitimate. I just want to see bigger tests for Argentina. With all due respect to Cape Verde, I think the Cape Verde story is fantastic. If Argentina are to progress through them, I want to see them come up against a Colombia, a Brazil potentially in a semifinal or whoever it is, and then into the final. Argentina haven't had that many big tests going into this World Cup, so I'm not sure exactly where they're at, but just from a confidence perspective, from a playing style, yes, Chuck, they're great. I think from a team perspective, I'm confident in Argentina. But for example, Kylian Mbappe against Montiel, like I'm a little bit worried about Argentina's fullbacks and how they would do against top quality opposition, like world class wingers. I don't know, like Vini versus Montiel right now in a semi-final. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's why I put so many question marks. I think I know where France are at more than Argentina at this point, if that's fair.
Okay, well, this leads to my next question. What's more likely? An African team reaches the semifinals or a CONCACAF team reaches the semifinals? Now, just to give you context,
at this World
Morocco
Cup
has to play Canada.
Or in general, because in...
I'd say in this World Cup. So Morocco has to play Canada, and then they would most likely play France before getting to a semifinal. U.S. would have to play Bosnia, beat Bosnia, then beat Senegal, or Belgium, and then beat Spain or Portugal or Croatia to get into a semifinal.
Oh, this is tough. I think African team. And out of the African teams, I've been a little bit disappointed in Senegal. I think the U.S. If Senegal beats Belgium, also unimpressed by Belgium. The U.S. would need to beat Senegal and then beat somebody else, right?
Spain, Portugal, Morocco, or Croatia.
Morocco's got.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think out of all the teams that we mentioned. Yeah. But you have more faith in the U.S. beating Spain or Morocco beating France, Chuck?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
At this point, U.S. beating Spain.
Chuck, I love it. No, hey, listen. Hey, the U.S. team has beat Spain before, and let me tell you something. I think this Spain team is not as good as that Spain team.
Well, I can promise you they're not as good as that Spain team.
No, is this USA team better than that USA team, Chuck?
He got you here, Chuck. He got you. Nico here. What's more likely? Pochettino lands a high-profile club, or he stays with the U.S. men's national team?
Oof.
He's finding these hard.
I thought this would be an easy one.
Yeah, these are very hard. No, I think he's going to land a high-profile job just by the indications of everything that he kind of says in between the lines.
Nico, but what high-profile job?
What he
all the
believes
jobs are taken.
You have to wait a couple months.
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
as a coach,
Like,
what
maybe
coach
it's not
would want to
right
go
now.
into a situation when you don't get a preseason and you don't get to pick the players to change the team? What coach wants to go into a situation where you got to go in because the coach gets sacked?
Maybe he takes a year off.
Yeah.
And you what if he gets the U.S. to a quarterfinal and be that CONCACAF team that makes a semifinal, and then your stock is high? I don't know, Chuck. I think he could land a high-profile job, and I don't think that he wants to stay with U.S. soccer for another cycle. I think he was hired to do this job, and he leaves U.S. soccer in a better place which he found it, and he takes a higher profile job. He lives in Europe. I think he likes Europe. I don't know. What jobs are open? Think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big conversation piece. Ultimately, I agree with you. I think he ends up leaving. All right, last one for you, Nico. What's more likely? Andoni Iraola leads Liverpool to the league title, or Enzo Maresca leads Manchester City to the league title?
He's stuck again.
Yeah, I think Maresca leads Man City to the Premier League title. Although I really like Iraola, but if I had to choose one of the two, although succeeding Pep is going to be difficult, but also cleaning up everything that's happening at Liverpool, there might be more alignment at Manchester City than at Liverpool from the top down, so I'm going to go Maresca.
Maresca, boys, we like that one?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Maresca is a little bit more of the
Okay,
same.
I have one more.
Oh.
Can I suggest one?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, what's more likely? I have a better time in Kearney, New Jersey, or in Boston, Massachusetts? on this RV trip?
Kearney, New Jersey, 100%.
Crazy? What kind of question is that?
We'll let this play out, Nico. Yeah, you're going to be amazed. You were amazed
You
with
know the
Kansas
answer to
City,
that.
which I love, by the way, after 9 years. You wait till you get to Kearney.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Hey, I
Just
like that
ask the
it's a
Scots
competition,
about
so
Boston, Nico.
I'm ready.
Just ask the Scots
When
about
you're at the
Boston.
Scots American
Ask
Club, the people
Moroccans
that
and
went
the
to Boston,
Iraqis.
you can ask them, Nico.
Mwah.
Okay. All right then, Nico. Lovely to see you. Enjoy the rest of your RV trip to Atlanta.
All right, guys. Bye. Thank you.
See you later.
Ciao, ciao.
Okay, then, everybody, we've got to take a quick break here on Morning Footy. We've got much more 48 Nations on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. With the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt. What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Morning Footy, everybody. It's time for our favourite social media moments. So these Paraguayans were watching the penalty shootout in a bar.
Painful.
And just as he was about to take the decisive penalty,
Painful.
everything went dark.
It honestly doesn't get worse than that.
And it's painful.
That is really tough. They seem to be very happy, though, at the end. Mexican fans were outside Ecuador's team hotel, making as much noise as possible in an attempt to keep them awake before their World Cup clash against Mexico.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
By the way,
That must be so annoying.
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It just adds that much more theatrics around the
you
game.
like it as a player, stuck in a
really.
hotel,
You just put on some earplugs.
You don't really
hear it.
You don't. It doesn't really keep you up. But
doesn't it?
what for me, it's the anticipation, it's the excitement around the game. You see how much it matters. That just jacked me up through the roof. I was ready to go.
They've literally just put their car sirens on, though. That would really annoy me. I would hate that. Okay, on to our last one. This is my favourite one. Dog celebrating Brazil's victory. You don't find that funny, Dave?
So funny.
And it's been waiting all morning
I've
for
been
this
waiting
one.
all morning to watch this.
I'm with Tones. It's so funny.
That's like Claudia trying to hit a front hand.
Oh, I enjoyed that one. Look at him. He's excited. Okay. All right, then, everyone. I think it's time to go to a quick break. We're going to a break. Do stay with us, everyone. We've got much more 48 Nations on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. With the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
A crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt. What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Morning Footy, everyone. So coming up today, Mexico are taking on Ecuador at the Estadio Azteca. They had a great group stage, being one of three perfect teams in those group stages, and they won Group A. So Mexico are looking to make the round of 16 for the 8th time in the last 9 World Cups today against Ecuador. Jimmy, do you like their chances?
Ecuador's a really difficult opponent. They got to feel pretty hard done by to draw a team that's comfortable in the altitude, comfortable with these types of temperatures, comfortable with these types of environments that they face in South America and World Cup qualifying. Very good defensively, have a good identity. Maybe a little unlucky, Ecuador, not to get more from the group stages. They thought they were the better team against Ivory Coast, but ended up losing that game. However, Mexico are excellent at home. They haven't lost a competitive game in Azteca since 2013. So very good in this environment and in this stadium in particular, and didn't give up any goals. So on the defensive side, they've been very good. Attacking-wise, scoring good goals. And the vibes are good.
Charlie?
Jimmy said it all. Ecuador is a side that is, as well as they have done this tournament, they're still not playing to their potential. They've been a little careless in front of goal, wasting big opportunities. So for me, Ecuador will win this game.
Score prediction?
2-1 Ecuador.
Tony, score prediction?
I picked Ecuador. Doesn't really matter what the score is, right? I picked them to go through, but I'll say 2-1 how about this? 2-1 in extra time.
Oh, nice. Another extra time.
I got Mexico. I think they'll beat Ecuador. I think that's what I put in my bracket. Yeah, I'm going to go with the hosts. I'm riding with the hosts to get into the round of 16. Canada did it. We're going to do it tomorrow. I think Mexico will do it as well.
Lovely stuff. OK, then, everyone. 19 days down in this World Cup. We're into the round of 32, but we're just getting started here on the Golazo Network. We've got much more coming up after this short break. Do stay with us, everyone.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's